Hey, what up, faithful? Welcome to the Stay Faithful podcast. I'm your host, Ty Alston, and today we're going to talk about the consensus because I'm here to tell you that the consensus is a big fat lie. There was no consensus. The mood following the 49ers draft, and even during the draft, was that they went against the consensus. The consensus picks and picked who they want to pick, which is weird in itself. But let's start with that word consensus. If we look up the definition of the word consensus, it simply means the majority of opinion. So why am I saying that there was a lie, that there was no consensus? Well, if we look at the final mock drafts from all the big networks, and what they do is they have, their group of experts that come together and they pool and put together a final mock, right? They all do theirs. If we take a look at that, you'll see up and down the board, it was all different. There's no consensus. There's no real majority on who the 49ers should select with their selection. If we take a step backward and look at the final mock drafts throughout the month of these experts, you'll see none of them are the same. Each pick is different, which means they didn't even have a consensus within themselves. It's kind of odd that everyone's saying, oh, you went against the consensus, when there's no clear consensus on whom the 49ers should pick. Now, I will say this. Although there wasn't consensus, there was some commonality on the position that the 49ers should pick. A lot of people just automatically lean toward wide receiver for some reason. Now, whether or not that's because the word got out that the 49ers were picking a receiver, or people are just, that good at guessing, who knows? But there was a general thought that the 49ers would take a wide receiver. And it makes sense because we know the 49ers needed a receiver. However, if we look at whom the different receivers were, you can see there still was no consensus on which receiver would be taken. They're all different up and down the line. Now, there are three individuals that stood out on these lists. There's Casey Concepcion, Omar Cooper Jr., and Denzel Boston. Of course, the 49ers went their own way and drafted Stribling, a pick no one saw coming, at least not the experts. So, why Stribling? That seems to be a question everyone's asking. Why DeJon Stribling for the draft pick over the other guys? The 49ers were clearly looking for an X-receiver, someone tall, long arm, strong, fast, that can play outside the numbers. That was their criteria going into this. If we do a comparison of the three guys, Cooper Jr., Boston, and Concepcion, we see they have some traits, but not all. Concepcion doesn't have the height. He's 5'11". His 40 time that he ran is a 4.46. I believe that's a bit slower than what the 49ers are looking for, because if you look at the past few drafts, they drafted 4.41, 4.38, and 4.37 respectively. So they already have a Casey Concepcion on the roster. What about Omar Cooper Jr.? Good size, 6 feet tall, runs a 4.42. However, he played primarily in a slot in college, and that's where he's predicted to do most of his damage, as a slot receiver. Once again, if you look at the 49ers' current roster, they have plenty of guys that can play the slot, right? The Y and the Z positions are totally taken. There's no need there for another one. How about Denzel Boston? He has the size of 6'3", amazing, long wingspan, strong. However, Denzel Boston did not run the 40 at all. Not at the NFL Combine, not at his pro day. Why is that? Because it's been known that he is not the fastest receiver. It's been speculated that he would run somewhere in the 4.65 to 4.7 range. Quite a bit slower than what the 49ers are looking for. He's basically Jawan Jennings 2.0. And as we know, the 49ers just recently moved on from Jawan Jennings. They don't want another one on the roster. They're looking for something different. So enter Dejan Stribling, a legit 6'2" tall, runs a 4.36 40, weighs good 207 pounds, strong, and the one thing that separates Stribling over everyone else, he's a strong run blocker. Kyle Shanahan in this offense wants receivers who will block and help the running game. Stribling towers over everyone else in that regard. So as you can see, Dejan Stribling checked all the boxes. He's exactly what the 49ers were looking for. Thus, that's why he was the selection. Another reason why the 49ers could have been looking for an next receiver is because they don't have one. I mean, yes, they signed Mike Evans, but Mike Evans is basically on a one-year deal. But what about moving forward? It makes sense to get a receiver now for the future. And you do so to help out the most important person on the roster, and that's your franchise quarterback, Brock Purdy. You see, up until now, Brock has never played with a receiver of this ilk. I mean, this with Mike Evans, this is the first time he's having a real true X receiver out there. So you drafted Dejan Stribling, you have him learn, and now he and Brock can take off together. They can be QB1 and wide receiver 1 in the future. That is the hope. 49er fans shouldn't be shocked by this, at least if you're a little older. If you're a fan in the 80s, you've seen this before. It should be deja vu to you, because at the time, the 49ers had a younger-ish experienced quarterback in the name of Joe Montana. And in the draft, the 85 draft, they traded up to take a receiver by the name of Jerry Rice. A true X-receiver they could pair with their franchise quarterback. And those two went on to do great things. Now, I'm not saying Purdy and Stribling are going to be Montana and Rice. Not at all. However, I'm just comparing the thought process of getting your franchise quarterback with a true X-receiver, and let's see what they can do together. And hopefully, that's great things. And I mentioned earlier about what the 49ers were looking for. They had specific needs, specific qualities that they wanted for this position, for this pick. And that's one thing that experts don't take into account. They don't look at what a team needs. When they're doing their rankings of players, they simply rank them in order of quality, how good they are. X, Y, Z. That's all it is. We know the 49ers have their own secret criteria players. When they meet a certain standard, they become Golden Domers. They give them that rank. If you go back and just look at all the lists that the experts have made, you'll never see a Golden Domer rank next to anyone. There's no marking of a gold dome next to a person's name, is there? Because that's not what they're taking into account. They're doing it based on their standards, not the team standards, not the team's criteria. And the 49ers are not the only team in the NFL that does this. All teams do it. I know that the Chargers have a boat rating, right? It's their logo. It's a boat rating. It's players that they identify based on their criteria and say they're a Charger. They give them a boat rating. I'm sure a lot of other teams have their own calling of what that rating is. But the simple fact is, when these experts are making their list of top 100, top 150 players, they're not considering individual team needs at all. After every draft, everyone asks, how would you grade the draft? And there's online polls and online articles, and experts write about what the team did in the draft, and they assign them a grade. Well, this is wild to me. I never understood this, because you never know how a player is going to turn out until he actually plays in the NFL, right? Like, a player just got drafted. He hasn't done anything yet, and you're assigning a grade to it, which is wild. And I remember after a few drafts seeing some just ridiculous draft grades and scenarios. After the drafting of Fred Warner, a report came out, And there were some, adjectives and some blurbs said about him. He's an arm tackler in space who can overrun clean contact. His leverage and gap strength as an interior defender needs improvement. Tackle consistency may be a concern on the next level. Unclear what his best positional fit is. That was Fred Warner. And after those kind words, they actually assigned a draft grade to him of a C-. This is Fred Warner we're talking about. The best linebacker in the entire NFL. After the drafting of George Kittle, such nice things were said about him such as, he doesn't have great hands for the passing game, nor does he move or act like he's comfortable in the passing game. He'll be good for a surprise target here and there, but not a guy expected of a high workload. He can be used as a H-back and on special teams. Heck, he might be a potential convert to linebacker. While his technique is well above average size, may limit his ability to block in line at the next level. May be best fit as a number 2 tight end. He fails to be shifty in and out of routes, and may need to be utilized mostly over the middle or up the seam. Which he is very good up the middle and up the seam, but he does so much more. Now, they didn't assign a grade for George, but that post-draft review doesn't sound very good. Doesn't sound very promising, does it? Sounds like a guy in a backup limited role, as they suggested. And George Kittle is one of the best there is. No, let me change that. George Kittle is the best there is. Period. So don't go by what people say post-draft. You really have to wait till these players get on the field and see what they can do. Because so much goes into a player's development. I mean, it's where they're picked, what system they're in, how they're utilized. Injury is the biggest factor of them all. Can they stay on the field? Can they stay healthy? That has derailed a lot of young players' careers before they even got started. So you can't judge the book before you open it. So why all the bad draft talk about the Niners? Why is everyone downing what they did? It's one simple word for you, and that's for drama. Yes, drama. Remember, drama sells. And it's been an extremely quiet offseason for the 49ers. All right? There's the Brandon Ayuk ordeal, but 49er fans are over it. They're not talking about it at all. They see it and they go, whatever, and move on. There's been no crazy off the field issues, no contract extensions needed. Trent Williams came out and asked for, some guaranteed money, but this is the third time that fans have been through this with Trent Williams. So they kind of shrugged it off and said, it'll be taken care of, no worries. Extremely quiet amongst 49ers land. Now, the media, and yes, when I say the media, I mean reporters, writers, radio people, podcasters, YouTubers, the whole gamut. This is the new media. They understand that the 49ers fan base is active, is attentive, emotional. They get after it. So, if they can lean into some drama, they most definitely will. And here we are, talking about the consensus, which is nothing more than a new buzzword used to create some drama. And you gotta remember, there's media people that feed on drama. Literally, they make money off of it. So not only will they feed into the drama to get reaction, they will also fuel the drama to make sure they get people engaged, get their clicks and views, and of course, they're making bread off of it. But that's their hustle. But you don't have to fall into it. So there you have it, folks. In conclusion, there was never a consensus. No one ever said, hey, do this specifically. We all agree. Let's do this. It never happened. It's a lie. Just made up for drama. Pure and simple. And if you look at who's starting it, you'll definitely understand why. Hey, this is the Stay Faithful Podcast. I'm Ty Alston. Make sure you like and subscribe, follow, and we'll be back with another one. Stay faithful, everybody.